First, we chose to talk about depressants. Depressants come in a variety of forms, ranging from painkillers to barbiturates to alcohol. Ever since the late 90s, there has been a substantial rise in the number of painkillers prescribed by hospitals each year. Prescriptions for painkillers in the United States have nearly tripled in the past 2 decades, and according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, fatal overdoses have reached epidemic levels, exceeding those from heroin and cocaine combined. Many of the painkillers we see today have only been around since the late 90s and are synthetic replacements for opiates that were commonly used, such as morphine. Due to the effect painkillers have on the body, they instantly became popular in the United States. Painkillers first seemed to have a huge medical value, but now have become an epidemic in our society. Prescription medication can be easily found by children in the home, and the effect can be more life-threatening than the hard drugs sold on the street. Even though painkillers have a large benefit to those in insufferable pain, only a small percentage of the drugs are being used by prescribed patients, and even patients who are prescribed often find themselves addicted to the drug once they have begun taking it.
There are 4 main types of hallucinogens: LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, peyote, and DMT, and are aptly named after their psychedelic experience given. Hallucinogens started off naturally harvested for tribal rituals, giving the users the ability to see their deities. The first artificial and most popular version of these drug types is LSD, developed in 1938.
The most iconic of these hallucinogens is LSD, or acid. Originally synthesized as a truth serum by the government, once the public got hold of this new drug, it sparked a revolution. As the Vietnam War raged on, a radical new movement focused on peace, love, and music was sweeping through the youth of America. Fueling these hippies, as they called themselves, was a variety of drugs, with the favorites being marijuana and LSD. However, this hippie movement did contribute a lot to us as a society. At the peak of their movement, thousands of these open-minded, free individuals flocked from all over the world to Woodstock, a massive weekend-long festival with the best musicians of the day and people coming together over a common love for each other and a whole lot of drugs. Today, society is much more educated on the dangers of LSD. The major issue is that it's unpredictable. Its effects can be radically different depending on the amount taken, personality, and mood of the individual. It's a roll of the dice, a happy, peace-loving high or a severe paranoid low.
This is a firestorm.
Stimulants are any drug that excites any bodily function, but more specifically those that stimulate the brain and central nervous system. Stimulants induce alertness, elevated mood, wakefulness, increased speech and motor activity, and decreased appetite. The list of stimulants includes cocaine, ecstasy, nicotine, caffeine, and now certain prescription drugs such as Adderall and Ritalin. One of the most commonly thought of drugs when it comes to stimulants is cocaine. Starting in 1886, the popularity of cocaine skyrocketed when John Pemberton included cocoa leaves as an ingredient in his new soft drink, Coca-Cola. The euphoric and energizing effects on the consumer helped to continue the popularity of the drug throughout the next century. From the 1850s to the early 1900s, cocaine and opium-laced elixirs, magical or medicinal potions, were broadly used by people of all social classes. Notable figures who promoted the miraculous effects of the cocaine tonics and elixirs included inventor Thomas Edison and actress Sarah Bernhardt. The drug became popular in the silent film industry, and the pro-cocaine messages coming out of Hollywood at that time influenced millions. The most widely used and yet most overlooked drug is caffeine, another type of stimulant. A lesser-known fact about caffeine is that according to the National Drug Association, teachers who drink excessive amounts of coffee, cough cough, assign way too much homework. This study is totally real and is backed up by a lot of independent studies. Caffeine is most commonly known to be in coffee and sports drinks, but has transitioned over the years to be found in almost all chocolate and a majority of medications.
In conclusion, we have come to realize that, as evidenced by the many changes of opinion on them that society has had, drugs themselves don't always inherently pose a problem, but it is the abuse and overuse of those drugs that leads to the issue.